was a warm, sunny spring afternoon at Vale Parade. There was a sense of joy around the ground before the game. If only we knew that we'd get our 14th defeat of the season. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So another defeat for City. It's our 14th defeat this season. We are one of the worst home teams in the league, and today showed why. I don't know where the blame lies after this defeat. Port Vale now have 3 wins in a row, and they look good for the playoffs. It's a good race to watch from a neutral perspective. I think that there's about 11, 12 teams who could end up in the playoffs. We are one of them. And today we knew why, because we don't have that end product. We don't have that defensive awareness to close chances down. We're too open when we shouldn't be too open, and we leak like a sieve at the back when we shouldn't be. And we committed a lot of bodies forward going to the end of the game, and that's why some more chances came Port Vale's way. But I think, well, we'll start from the beginning. The first half then, the players got clapped off. I'm not saying we should boo them. I don't think they deserve getting clapped off the way they played, because we were. Just saying, if we play like that under Derek Adams, they would have got booed off. I'm against booing your players off at half time, unless you are getting battered, you're 4-0 down, and you're playing god awful. Because obviously then, but at full time it's more acceptable, I think. But I don't think they deserve getting clapped off, because I think they only did because of the last few performances and the last few results. But that first half was, it was tense. It was, there wasn't great intent to go forward. It was cagey. The players looked a bit lethargic. The effort were there. You could see players like Andy Cook, all the team actually putting lots of effort in to track back, to get into the positions, to bust a gut to get forward. But that was the problem. We're busting a gut to get forward, and that we shouldn't be. We should be. We should have been more on the front foot. Port Vale controlled the first half. They controlled the game. They controlled the speed of it. They controlled the tempo. We had to try and break them down, and we couldn't. And that would have the result. They won because we couldn't break them down. If you look at the stats, they had more shots, we had more possession, which probably reflects it by the second half possession, when we just seemed to lack a bit of urgency to get the ball forward. I think we did need to retain the ball a bit better in that game, and I think that's why we missed Elliot Watt. You could see that, and Gilead, and you've got to retain the ball better. We were poor at doing so. And where does this result lie? Does it rely at the players' hands, or is it Mark Hughes' fault? I think it's Mark Hughes' fault, because he got it all wrong. You know, his selection, I don't think he could have changed really. I'm not sure about Delfonso getting picked. I'm not keen on Delfonso. I think every time I've seen him, he looks below average. He looks to be. We probably would be better with 10 men rather than him. He just seems to be a sheep. He just follows where the ball's going. He don't add any quality to the game, if I'm being honest. I can understand why he's picked Delfonso. I think we would have been better with Callum Cook in the defensive midfielder position and playing Evans on the left instead of Delfonso, and then maybe in the number 10 position, giving Walker the first half and then bringing Vernon on for the second half. Maybe that would have been better. But yeah, Evans were poor in defence midfield. You could see that deep role wasn't for him, and you could see how much Elliot Watt is a massive impact on us as a team. And Vernon, he came on and was an instant impact to the game, got the goal. But on the performance, we did seem to be too deep. We did seem to be too pragmatic. We didn't seem to have an urgency to create too many chances. I think there were that brilliant chance Andy Cook had where Callum Cook played him through and it got deflected onto the bar. We had too many half chances that didn't turn into proper killer chances, and that was the difference. They had more chances than us, and we had too many half chances. But let's get into the player ratings then. Alex Bass, 5. He were at fault for the second goal, was it? Where he should have saved it. It was almost. I can't. To be fair, that second goal that James Wilson scored, I was probably more concentrating on the poor refereeing. I mean, when I come through to the man of match, he'll be Darren Drysdale getting man of match. I mean, what a game he had! Brilliant performance for him from Port Vale side. Honestly, the amount of free kicks he won for them, the amount of he was a thorn in our side. He was really good, that Darren Drysdale for Port Vale. Unbelievable. We should sign him, honestly. But to be fair to him, he was crap. But to be honest, the decisions he were making were just a shambles. A 3-year-old would have known what that foul was. Songo gets pulled to the ground. He gets his shirt pulled, then he gets pushed, and then it into foul. It's just a disgrace to the profession of a referee. I think his assistants were even worse. I think they were so indecisive on decisions. For us, they took 10 minutes on. The fourth official took 10 minutes to put the substitution board up. It was such a poor performance from the referees. But anyway, Alex Bass, he should have saved that second goal. From what I saw, it was straight at him and he just let it go in. It was poor. Again, time and time again, we are finding ourselves criticising Bass, and he really does need to step it up, because week in, week out, we're picking at him, and they are good. The good reasons to pick at a goalkeeper, because his positioning's poor, his distribution's poor, his shot stopping's quite poor too. He isn't doing well, and that was another poor game from him. 5. We'll try to speed it up. Luke Hendry got man of match from the sponsors. I didn't see that. I think he put a lot of effort in again, but going forward he wasn't that great. And defensively, he'll put the effort in to get back, but positionally, in the tackle, he ain't great. We know this. So I'd give him a bang average 6. Pawdy, O'Connor and Songo, they conceded 2 goals, but I do think they were good. I'd probably give them both 6s, probably because we did concede goals. And we did concede a lot of chances, but I think them two are very solid, and they are 2 players who we must keep. And this summer, it's make or break these last 8 games for these players, because there's so many players' contracts running up, so many loans running up, and they're playing not just to play for us, to get contracts somewhere else, and them 2 we must try and keep. The one of a few. Matty Folds at left back, I actually think he had a much better game than he has been having. I didn't watch Tuesday's game because of private reasons. But today I'd give him a 7. I think he was one of the better. Nah, I'd give him a 6. I can't give him a 7. He was a 6. He was average like Songo and O'Connor were, and Hendry, and Bass let us down in that defensive unit. In midfield, Evans, I've got to give him a 5. He was below average, and you could see the massive difference in Evans and Watt in that game. You could see how much we missed Elliot Watt. The retention of the ball Elliot Watt has, the passing ability Watt has, the positional awareness Watt has, and Evans just didn't have that. We lost the ball too many times in that area, which I think Watt probably wouldn't have lost it as many times. But yeah, I think Gareth Evans is probably more of a winger than a midfielder. It's too deep of a position, that defensive midfielder position, and even as a number 8, I think that's still too deep for Gareth Evans. And he looked a bit off his he looked a bit tired towards the end as well. But they do put effort in. But today there was somewhat missing. Anyway, back on to the player ratings. We'll go to the wingers. Dion Pereira, I want to give him a 7, but I don't think he did too much to warrant a good performance. I'd give him an average 6. I think he did a few good turns. It was just a nearly performance where he turns someone and then he's about to play him in and then he gets snapped. It was clever from Port Vale, good tactical defending, and it was just a very nearly performance from Dion Pereira. Levi Sutton, who for me had a pretty good, he had an average game. I think Sutton offers you effort. He offers you a good box-to-box midfielder who sometimes quality ain't there, sometimes he's sometimes that bit of quality ain't there with Levi Sutton, but you know you're going to get a lot of effort and you know you're going to get a lot of desire going forward and defensively. So I'd give him a 6. I don't think he did too much to get a 7, and I don't think he was that bad to get a 5, although he did get brought off. But Delfonso, I'd got to give him a below average because he was non-existent. He was floating around, and he just didn't seem to be in the game. And that's happened every time I've watched him. He just don't seem to be creating chances, and that's why he's in the team, to do so. And I couldn't have agreed more with the subs. Andy Cook, then, I've seen some hate towards him on social media. We've seen it quite a bit. But I'll tell you what Andy Cook offers. He offers his work rate. In that first half, I saw him in left back position. He was tracking back. I think he's a player who puts too much effort in, trying to get back, trying to create that chance, trying to have a shot, because all he needs is that bit of composure going forward. He snatches at chances too much. He's a proper old-fashioned striker who's just a bit of a bully boy. He'll last defenders, he'll chase them down, and then he'll just take a wild shot. But sometimes he just needs to calm it down, and I think if he calms his play down, he probably will score more goals. He's missed a lot of good chances this season, and I think that's because he's rushing his chances, and I think Mark Hughes has to go 1-to-1 with Andy Cook and just say, just take that extra touch, or just set yourself a bit more. Just don't snatch at your chances. And I think Mark Hughes is a great 1-to-1 manager for Andy Cook to have at this moment of time. On to the subs then. Walker, Vernon, they absolutely changed the game. Vernon just looked electric. He was taking players on, he was putting crosses into a box, having shots, and he got his goal. And to say he's been out for quite some time, Vernon, he didn't look like he's been out at all. Sometimes it takes players a bit long to get the sharpness back, a bit long to look accurate, precise in the play. Vernon was, it was like he's just been playing yesterday. He was brilliant, and I've got to give him a 7. He's a real contender for man of match, even though he came on. That shows how much we weren't performing. Just realised I missed out Callum Cook. I think it's another nearly performance with Cook. He gets those chances, but he gets into areas where he can create chances, but he don't get the ball enough. We have to give him the ball, and but in fairness to Port Vale, they marked him out brilliantly. They marked Callum Cook out of that game, so he couldn't get many touches, couldn't create the chances that he normally creates. And then Jamie Walker, I'd probably give him an average 6, although he did do well when coming on. He did look to create a few chances, and he looked to quite lively, but not quite enough for him. Like our game, we just missed too many good chances, too many nearly moments, and not pretty poor defensively, but the way we were set up defensively probably cost us the win in that game. But we must do better next home match against Newport. I'm not wearing this jumper. Every time I've wore it, we've lost. So you won't be seeing that on the next match reaction. I hope you've had a good day, because I haven't. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.